I am Mr. Oak,
And I'm Mr. Leaf.
and welcome to the Year in Review.
Can you believe it's been 12 months?
I know, almost to the day. This is really cool. Do you want to tell the story, or I tell the story about how this whole thing came about?
All right, so we'll fill in the gaps
Yeah.
in our story because I'm sure everyone has their own perspective on it. But all right, so it was this time last year in January.
January 11th,
January 11th,
2025.
2025. I was walking the lanes of Home Depot, and I bump into my good friend, Mr. Oak, and he says to me, "Hey, you want to start a podcast?" And I said, "Okay," and at the time, I just said, "Okay, let's do it. Let's do a podcast." And I just said yes right away without even asking what we're doing a podcast on. And he said, "Hey, we're going to do a podcast. Let's do a podcast on cigars and whiskey." I'm like, that sounds like a great idea.
It was pretty cool because at the time I just about getting ready to get out the military, and the debate was, do we stay in Southern Virginia or do you move to D.C. area? And I decided, you know what, I'm going to stay in Chesapeake, Virginia. So at the time I had this man cave, and I had this bright idea that, you know what, I had a good amount of whiskey that I was collecting, and I was like, you know, I'm going to turn that man cave into a cigar whiskey lounge. So we was talking about that, and that's when the whole thing came up about doing the podcast. And we're officially a year into it.
Yeah, and a lot has happened in 12 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel that where we are today, I couldn't have imagined it when we first started, as far as the possibilities of what we're doing.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
As far as the possibilities, because, and it's a topic that a lot of people are interested in. People love whiskey, they love cigars, and when we share with them what it is that we're doing, they get immediately excited. Right?
Yeah.
And some of them, and they want to be part of it too.
Yeah, I think that's cool. But I think the coolest part about this, though, is that there's plenty of podcasts that talks about whiskey, whether it's bourbon hunting, whether it's pairing them, that kind of stuff. And there's plenty of talks about cigars, about different cigars, you know, how to smoke it, etiquette, that kind of stuff. But we're combining both of those things. You know, the love we have for cigars, the love we have for whiskey, I think it's great. By the way, we're sitting here smoking. So, Mr. Leaf, what you puffing on?
I am currently puffing on Davidoff's Year of the Horse. It was released this past November. And so, Dirk, what are you sipping on?
What am I sipping on? Well, I am sipping on the 10-year Old Fitz Decanter. Bottle and bond. Great bottle, nice and smooth. We'll see if this pairing is a great one. But again, because it's a year in review, we figure we'd do a beautiful whiskey and a premium cigar.
Excellent. All right. Let's talk about how we started this business, right? So, first of all, we had to come up with a name for our podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, we tried to be creative as possible and something that's going to capture what it is we're trying to accomplish. We settled on the Oak and Leaf Company, okay?
Well, I don't know if we settled.
Oh.
I think it was beautiful because
Okay.
we wanted to marry both of these things
Got it.
together, something that rolled off the tongue. You know, we came up with
I know barrels and sticks. Sticks was one, yeah.
But you know, we wanted to make sure we had a high-end, first-class type of experience, and barrels and sticks just didn't hit. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, we'd love to have a refined place for people to come together to enjoy these premium cigars and fine whiskeys. Okay, so the Oak and Leaf kind of rolled off the tongue.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about the beautiful part why
Yeah.
the Oak and Leaf makes sense for us?
Yeah. All right. So it's a play on words, and it makes sense in two ways. One, Mr. Oak and Mr. Leaf, and Oak is all things that comes out of the oak barrel. All these high-end spirits, particularly bourbon, and obviously Leaf is very obvious, right? It's the tobacco leaf that was used for making premium cigars. But other than that, in the military, the oak leaf is used as a rank insignia, which we both had the pleasure of wearing on our collars. So it kind of represents a little bit of what we like in life, the whiskey and cigars, but also kind of ties into our military history, which is kind of cool. Right, and it also it's just it's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we love that part. So then the question is, okay, well, where do we go from here? So all of last year, my whole time was I was sitting here getting ready to retire from the military, so dealing with military stuff, things that I had to still do in the military, and also how do I transition out, and how is this going to work with life after that. But what we did decide to do though was like, you know what, we need to, well, one, get our name out there, but also two, we wanted to explore everything cigar and everything whiskey. So we spent all of last year doing cigar events and doing whiskey events. Do you remember the first one we did last year?
All right. The very first cigar event was
No, the first event.
the first event.
Yeah.
Last year.
February, Philadelphia.
Oh, you're right. That was the first event.
That was our first event.
I almost missed that out. How can I forget it? Yeah. So the very first time we actually wore our colors, so
Yeah.
to speak,
Well,
was in.
we're not a gang. I don't know if I'd say
It's a
we're
gang of
colors.
two people. Well, we wore our insignia and we had our shirts on. We're in Philadelphia, and we went to a book signing / Q&A for Uncle Nearest and Fawn Weaver, and she was promoting that book. It's over your shoulder. It's called Love and Whiskey. They got we have an Uncle Nearest bottle right up there, and it was cool because. One was you had access to Fawn Weaver, and she was very willing to answer any questions. We took pictures with her. It was a book signing, and it's part of what we were designed to do, right? Because we have to go out there, go to events, ask questions, and then take that information and disseminate it out to our followers.
The best part about the event is that Fawn was down to earth. Very approachable, very personable, and she told her story. So if you don't know about Uncle Nearest, she put us on that journey. And then also, too, the nice part about it is because, again, how the story goes is that Uncle Nearest himself, so Ernest Green, was the one who taught Jack Daniels about whiskey and also was his master distiller. And there was always this thought process that Uncle Nearest and Jack Daniels did not get along. Mm-hmm. Which is the exact opposite, and she did that. So she actually went in. She was not a distiller herself, but she learned so much about it, and then she recruited the master distiller there now, who was a descendant of Ernest Green. So it was a great story there. Both were there. They told their story, and we got some great pictures with her. Got some signed bottles. So it was a great experience. I think that was a nice way for us to start this whole business.
Yeah, very nice outing. And so. We went from there. What was our next event?
So I did a solo event.
Okay.
In February as well. I went down to Tampa, and I went to Big Smoke meets Whiskey Fest, which was phenomenal. So if you're not familiar with Big Smoke is an event that happens every year in November in Vegas, which is all things cigars. So big event, you get all your cigars. But what happens in Tampa, they mixed it with Whiskey Fest. So half of the products you got were cigars, the other half was whiskey. It was a beautiful time there. That was the most I drank ever. So definitely something you want to pace yourself when it comes to that kind of thing, because it's a one-day event. Yeah. But while I was down there, I also visited Ybor City.
Nice.
Ybor City.
I'm kind of jealous that I wasn't able to go.
But hey,
next year.
This year.
We're
in 26.
2026.
Yeah. So it was a great time. So I visited Ybor City, which is pretty much, it's not the birthplace of cigars for the United States, but it is for Tampa. And it was made by Ybor himself, a Spaniard who came over to Key West, expanded cigars there. And then when the Great Fire happened there, he moved everything to Tampa. Hence Ybor City. So if you are into cigars, you have to go to Ybor City. There's so many places there to visit. But then the best part of that, besides the actual event, is that I went to Grand Cathedral Cigars.
Okay.
That is run by a woman named Angela, who partnered with the Fuente family.
Okay.
And they built this beautiful cigar within a cathedral.
Wow.
We definitely have to go back there and then do a visit there. I have plenty of footage when it comes to that. She's very personable as well, too. I met Carlito Jr., which
How
is
was that?
phenomenal. He gave me a hug. We took pictures.
Nice.
It was a great event. So I had a beautiful time there.
Very
So we
good.
definitely have to go ahead and go back there
So
together.
you did that solo event, and then what was the event after that? Was that the Coastal Virginia? We did the cigar festival, the Coastal Virginia cigar.
Yeah.
Okay, that was September.
That was September.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So
that's-
between
yeah.
between the March and September part is we just again, this is new for us. Podcasting is new for us. Middle-aged men, so we're messing with technology. So that just took a while for it to come to fruition. But
It took
that
a
was the next
while,
one.
yeah. And so it's finding the right platforms and the right type of software to use and the right equipment, educating ourselves on that and how to get the message out. That's all. It's been a learning process. But as I was mentioning to Mr. Oak, that in the beginning, everything takes a little bit, you have to overcome that inertia. And
Yeah.
then once you overcome the inertia, I think we're in a good footing now. I think
Yeah,
we're
because
gonna-
our first podcast came out the middle to end of October. So if you figure we started in January, took time to get equipment. So we're texting each other, oh, I bought this, hey, I bought this, hey, I bought this. So it takes some time. So I will say this, when it comes to podcasters and podcasting, we learned a lot and we're still learning a lot on that one. So, that takes some time. But I salute all podcasters out there because, again, if people think that you can just go behind the camera and just be brilliant, no, it takes work.
Yeah, and you can appreciate that when you see a very smooth podcast. Like, wow, there's a lot of work that we don't see behind the scenes. Yeah,
Which we're seeing now,
yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And so, so we did the Coastal Carolina Cigar Festival. It was you're surrounded by maybe 500 people that really enjoy cigars in the Coastal Carolina area, and we get to meet a lot of the vendors. We walked out of there with like about 50 cigars. It had some nice ambiance. It was a little hot, but it was okay.
Little hot. It was hot. I know next year I'm definitely bringing a fan.
We got being a fan or a large umbrella.
But it's a beautiful venue. It happens in Norfolk, Virginia. Emerson Cigar is pretty much the conglomerate out here, so they have an outdoor space. So there's easily about 200 people there.
I think more. I want to say more than
I
200.
think more than 200.
Well, we went to that other event that was smaller, and they had they sold 200 tickets for that. Unless maybe that was more scattered. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe 300.
Maybe
I mean,
300.
it's a big space.
It's a big
Either way,
space.
it was good.
Yeah, it
you
was,
get there early, you get your seat, and then pretty much you
Yeah.
just hang out.
What I like about that also is attached to a brewery, right? And so you could you can get some beer, you get some beer drinks. There's food, music, cigars, and it's a nice hang and a nice venue.
Yeah, I'm not a beer guy.
Beer, yeah.
I'm not a beer guy. I travel with stuff.
Some
We definitely do a
juice.
podcast on pretty much wasted to
travel.
carry whiskey and things of that
Yeah.
nature.
All right. So from there, what was the other? We have one big event that
Yes.
that we went to.
I think that's the next one in the lineup.
That's the next one in the lineup.
Yeah.
We both took a week off of our schedule, and we headed down to Kentucky.
Kentucky, the birthplace
Kentucky.
of bourbon. So I was excited. It wasn't my first time going there, but we officially went as the Oak and Leaf Company, which was phenomenal. And I think it was during this time where I actually think, I said, you know what, this is going to go someplace, Well, I mean,
Yeah. Well, it's going
It
to. There was so much interest and so
Yeah.
much love for what we were doing.
yeah.
That our brains started going with all the different ideas that can come out of this.
Yeah, but we actually set up a display and we did one of our videos, which we'll make sure we link to this, is the video on the Trail Hotel, which is the bourbon hotel to go to Kentucky. So if you haven't gone there, definitely look it up. Kelly is the manager. We did an interview with her. It went great. She was very hospitable. We had a great time down there. We still have content to put out about the 3 days we spent down there when it came to different distilleries we went to. But I think that's when I knew that I was like, okay, we're going somewhere when it comes to this one. So that was a great event.
How many distilleries did we hit up? Do you think it's more than 6, right? Well, actually,
no.
You had
I think it was-
you had the tour itself that we were
Yeah.
a part of, and then we kind of went off on our own sometimes to hit other
Well-
distilleries. Or you got there early, and I know you went up and down the main drag
Yeah. So I visited 8 distilleries
on your own.
Day one, starting
one,
at
yeah.
3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. It was a sprint.
Yeah, thankfully, there's those Lime scooters all over Whiskey Row.
Those are dangerous.
I'm an expert on that thing, though.
Are you really?
Yeah, I might be a big dude, but I can handle those bad boys. Yeah, so I went to 8 distilleries in 2 hours, and I came away with a bunch of bottles. It was a great experience, but we'll talk more about that when we bring that video.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, and so all right, so we did that one. Any other events? We did.
Summit Point.
Summit Point was another one. And all these events are different, a different size, a different scope, right? Because you can also, and we'll get there in a little bit. You've had other smaller events with local business owners, right? But Summit Point it's almost like a cigar run. We've all done like kind of a beer run, but this is a cigar run. It involved 3 different restaurants, 3 different manufacturers of cigars, and also 3 different types of spirits. So you went to each restaurant, each had their own cigar that they were showcasing and a particular spirit, right? So that was lots of fun also.
Yeah, but again, we have a video on that one, so go ahead and check that video out if you want to hear more about that one. So that was another great event too. I think what we've also done too, any place we go, we try and find a good cigar lounge, we try and find a good whiskey lounge as well too. Talk to the owners, so that's what we definitely have in store in the future is every time we go somewhere, we try and find a good spot so we can take a quick video because we want to be able to show you guys what's out there as well too.
Exactly. I think there's a video coming out soon. I went to visit a really nice cigar lounge in Northern Virginia, in Woodbridge, Virginia. It's called La Old Mill Cigar Lounge, and there's a video coming out soon on that. I know that Mr. Oak has kind of befriended a local executive whiskey steward, right? Is that what you call him?
That's Mark Cook.
Mark Cook, yeah.
Mark and I are actually doing the Whiskey of the Year stuff. We did round 1 and round 2 already. Round 3 and round 4 is coming pretty shortly as well too. We're showcasing the 16 different whiskeys that we've had this year that we actually own and which one comes out on top. Again, like I said, round 1 is already done. Round 2 is done as well too. So look for those videos as well. So it's a great time and really enjoying going through that kind of stuff there too. And if you're in a local area, he is the Untamed Bourbon and Bites, and his wife is Untamed Chef. They're in Chesapeake, Virginia. Great time if you want to do a date night kind of thing, where they cook the food in front of you, and he'll go over different bourbons that you can pair with the food.
Yeah. Their focus is bourbon and food. Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Our focus is bourbon and cigars.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but it's also fun to kind of cross-pollinate with like-minded people and kind of get ideas and just have fun with those guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And so where are we now? All right, so we're about to launch a website.
Yes.
We stay tuned for that. We have our apparel that we want to showcase, and it's all about, if you're about the cigars and if you're about whiskeys, you're gonna love our apparel. So we have several T-shirts, different colored T-shirts, different types of hats, and there are more other apparel to come in the near future.
Absolutely, and again, please, any kind of recommendations you have, let us know because we would love to produce those for you guys as well. Ultimately, where our goal is to, like I mentioned before, open a high-end whiskey cigar lounge locally. So we're hoping that 26 brings us to that spot. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we'll continue to go ahead and produce content. Like I mentioned before too, I turned my man cave into a whiskey lounge. That's going to be content as well too. Because again, the nice part about it is that this is something that you could do in your own home too, as long as your significant other doesn't kick you out.
I'm very lucky to have a very supportive spouse. What you see behind me used to be my office/library, which I've converted into a cigar lounge/podcast studio. And you have one day we're going to do a nice in-depth review of Mr. Oak's podcast studio because he went all out.
It's like Cribs. It's like Cribs for cigar and whiskey.
I want to knock on your door.
Yeah.
Ready for the tour? Yeah. So, and that's another video we hope to put out, like how to convert a space within your home to be a cigar lounge and not kind of like offend other family members in the house, right? So we'll talk about ventilation equipment that you would have and how to and the pros and cons of doing that in your own home.
We've been smoking and we've been puffing and we've been sipping for years. I mean, I think when you're in the Navy, that's just kind of par for the course, especially when you're on the ship. It's a great pastime, great brotherhood, sisterhood, camaraderie, doing both. So, can you tell me what were your top 3 cigars
top
that
3
you had for
cigars.
this year, for 2025?
Okay. The thing is, also, we didn't mention during this course of our, this first year of our podcasting and the inauguration of our company, I was gone for 3 months. Right. I'm not going to go into that detail, but I was away for 3 months.
Yeah, I felt like a dependent wife. And
Did you
and
miss me?
And his spouse just left.
I just want to say I didn't get a care package for my dependent.
Okay, so in my defense,
right.
where he was, he couldn't get a care package. So I know why he tried to call me out
All
on
right.
that one.
You're right. Maybe it's
yeah.
not your fault.
Yeah.
Well, I made it. I had, you go on these trips in the military, and for me, I always have a goal when I go out into these things. This one was more of a personal goal because I tried as many different cigars as possible, and that was my goal. I went out with about 50 cigars. I think I smoked it all. Right.
So did any stand out in that 50?
You know what? All right. So there was. I think a Padron, and I think it was, is it a 2000 series, I want to say? I think that's what it was, that's what I smoked. I think I smoked it. If you go to for our social media, there's a picture of me smoking it as we're crossing the Panama Canal.
Okay.
So that's definitely one of the top 3. The other 2 is I recently smoked La Flor Dominicana, right? LFD, Ligero. Maduro, and it was 6" by 64, so it was a pretty hefty one, and it was a really pleasant smoke. It was up there. Now, in contrast, another cigar that really stood out because I could really appreciate the flavors and the notes was this a Davidoff Panatella, and this Davidoff Panatella was. If you know the Panatella, it's the gauge has to be like around 30. It's very slim.
It's like a Lancero.
Almost like a Lancero, yeah. And but for the first time, I got citrus notes. Like I've never, and then it's not like how you think when people say, "Well, I have notes of this." Like it's not like you're smoking and it's continuous citrus. It was like it hit me, bam! Like wow, I got a little citrusy, it actually tastes a little orange peel. That's the citrus. And I got it, I enjoyed it, and then it was fleeting. It went away, but I was really excited about it.
I can't think of ever hearing a citrus note on a cigar. Plenty in whiskey, but not in cigar.
This
Interesting.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are my 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for me,
cigars now?
Yeah, we're still on cigars. So for me, the CAO Amazon Basin. Amazon Basin. That's one of my favorite all-time cigars. They come out every year in February. So every year I get them, and it does not disappoint. So I love that cigar. You love a cigar when you smoke it and you turn around and look at it like, oh my God, this was good. So that was definitely one of my favorite cigars for this year. Another one, surprisingly, was the Davidoff, the Year of the Snake. Although it came out it's the 2025 one.
Okay, the Year of the Snake.
Yeah, so it came out late last year, just like how this one came out. Late in 24, but it carries over into 25. I wasn't a fan initially, but I decided to let it sit for a month or so, and I went back to it, and it was because again I don't smoke that many Lanceros, and that one is a Lancero. But I was pleasantly surprised when I went back to it. So just for you cigar smokers out there, or just starting to smoke cigars, if you try one and you don't like it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't like it later on. So if you buy more than one, I would recommend waiting a month or so, let it age a little bit in your humidor, and then go back to it. So then that was good.
Yeah, there's so many similarities between cigars and whiskeys in that you can let things sit for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third one, and this is not, so we're not getting produced by Davidoff. So I just want to make that clear. But the Davidoff limited edition work of art that came out was phenomenal. That was a great cigar. That was one of my favorite ones for this year. And it's kind of cool because in the box it comes with an actual, like a an artist palette as part of the design in there. So that was pretty cool. Well, those are my top three. Now that's the best. I have to say this one as one of the worst cigars I've had this year. Yeah, I hate to call it out. Plasencia is one of my favorite brands of cigars. They came out with their own Zodiac. So there's a few companies that have Zodiac cigars as well. So they came out with the Year of the Horse as well.
I've seen that, yeah.
So that one was interesting because, again, they braided a tail on it all the way down. I was like, that's interesting. I couldn't wait to taste it.
Did it affect the smoke?
It did. It did, because it literally felt like someone put a Q-tip on top of the cigar and you're smoking it because it's in the way. Now, could you rip it off? Yeah, but I didn't want to rip it off because I was like, let me try it. That cigar I did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just mentioned before that, usually try 2 cigars. That's an expensive cigar, and I have zero desire to try that again. If someone gave it to me, maybe I'll try it again,
yeah.
But I was not impressed with that cigar.
Wow, when I take a cigar and I'm not enjoying it, I just put it down and I forget about it. I should maybe have a little note, like take notes, like don't ever smoke this one again. But I just kind of forget it. And
so this is what I do. I have to get to the second, third before I give up on a cigar.
Oh no, I've had ones where I just couldn't even tolerate it.
I've done that with acids.
Oh really?
I just couldn't, because some of them are dipped or infused. Yeah. I just couldn't do it. I took 5 puffs and I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. That was the only time I've done. Actually, that happened. That was the worst I've ever had. What's one of those?
That is so bizarre because so many people who are not real cigar smokers, but they like an occasional smoke. Yeah. They always go to the acids.
Yeah, and I recommend not doing that. If you want to dive into the world of cigars, get something mild like the Monte Cristo White Series. Is a great starter cigar. It's very mild, very smooth. I think it's a good one to start if you want to, in fact, do that. I wouldn't go with anything sweet starting out because when you do that, you spoil yourself. If you do nothing but sweet cigars and you go with a real cigar, then you probably will never go back to cigars.
Yeah, I think, you say that, but that's how I started my journey with cigars, with lighter. It was still light, but it had a little infused on the cap, a little taste on the cap. But I recently heard from a guy named Leo Conley up in Northern Virginia who owns this cigar lounge. And he says that what I do when people are trying cigars for their first time, he would ask them, do you drink coffee? Well, how do you like your coffee? If they say, I like my coffee black, then he knows that this person could probably tolerate a stronger cigar.
That's a good way to do that.
If you put in milk and sugar and all kinds of stuff, then he knows, okay, I'm going to keep you away from that stuff.
Yeah. That's another good way to do that. But again, too, the question I ask people before when they are asking about that stuff, I said, what is your goal? Are you looking at becoming a cigar smoker, or you want to just enjoy
You want to hang out with your buddies?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or do you not want to look like you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to cigars? So you have to. I ask those questions first to do that. But a side note, so this glass has been sitting now for about 20, 30 minutes. Now I'm getting some nice hints of vanilla. So this is starting to open up now. So now I'm even enjoying this even more.
The whiskey.
The whiskey, yeah.
This is a good whiskey.
It is. It is very good.
Top 3 whiskeys of 2025.
Okay, so you asked me the top 3 whiskeys I've had. So the cool thing is that right now I'm in the middle of doing the whiskey of the year. But without looking at that stuff now, I might have to give you 5. I've had some great whiskeys.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you are these whiskeys you've never had before and you're trying it for the first time? Or these are whiskeys that you've had before?
These are whiskeys in my collection. I've had some whiskeys outside of my collection, but I will say the ones that I've liked the best this year are in my collection.
Got it.
Okay. The first one would be the Russell's 13 6th edition is really good. I really like that. It's 126 proof, something like that. Well, Russell's 15 was a whiskey of the year last year, and I recently paired them this year with the 15 and the 13. The 13 came out on top. I know there's a lot of people who love the Russell's 15 who might be stoning me on this one.
But you like 13
But the 13, and it's the highest proof that Wild Turkey has put out.
13 is higher.
This 6th edition, yes, it's the highest proof that they put out. And that's probably why I enjoyed that one so much. So there's that one. Then there is the Master's Keep Beacon, another one from Wild Turkey. Phenomenal one. Rick House is where you keep the barrels in whiskey. And when I sniff that one, it smells like I'm walking through a Rick House. And I love that aroma. I love that smell there too. I'm a big noser. I enjoy the nosing as much as I do the palate. And I literally could sniff that one all day.
If they made a candle, aromatherapy candle, you'll buy it.
Hell, I might pour a little bit in my candle. I have a bad idea.
Coming soon, oak and leaf candle.
Candles.
Yeah, buy it for your family and friends.
Yeah, that one was great. The Calumet 18 is another one. Love the decanter bottle it comes in. A lot of people complain about the price behind it, but I mean, I think it's a great one. And then of course, I can't talk about this year's whiskey without thinking about the Jack 14. It's first year they did a 14 year. It's an $80 bottle with $150. It's a phenomenal bottle. Most people assume that that's going to be the whiskey of the year. That hasn't officially come out yet, but everyone assumed that that's going to be the one. It is a great bottle. Out of the ones that I mentioned, that one, the Calumet 18 is probably the lowest I have that's left in it. But the worst bottle I've had, I have to take a puff for that one, was the Rye 3 cigar blend. Has Hungarian oak in there, Amburana, and is finished in a rum barrel as well too. To coin Charles Barkley, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. I've had it twice just in case, because sometimes you want things to air out. I did not like it at all. And the worst part about it is that I forgot that I had a bottle and bought another one, so now I have 2 bottles.
2 bottles of terrible.
2 bottles of terrible. Yeah, so I'm like, damn it. Yeah. Other than that, though, some things might be like, meh, that kind of stuff. But yeah, those are my standouts for this
I'm going to
year.
tell you my favorite whiskey is.
Your favorite whiskey?
This one right here.
Nice.
This is my new favorite.
Yeah, well, good.
Because there's so much flavor that you get out of this particular one. I know you like the high proof stuff. I like 90 to 100, kind of in that bottle.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't, and I have a sweet palate anyways, And but this is a really good one. My other go-tos in your collection is far more advanced than mine. You guys can see my collection up here, but I have some empty bottles in the corner over here. So what do I have there? So we got the Wild Turkey 101. It's always a good one that I like to go to, and that Bowman single barrel was pretty good.
So I mean, just with that in mind, I mean, we'll spend 26. You coming over, tasting some of the lower proof, the 90s, 100s. See how you like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And so that's another thing to point out is that don't feel that you have to go high proof with your whiskeys.
As soon as I feel I have to compete with you, I'm going to show you that I can handle high proof. I'm just kidding.
Well, the hilarious part about it is that when we christened the business,
this is when we were official.
We're official. We
signed a document. We got LLC.
We got our LLC, the name, and all that kind of stuff. The branding. He came over, and then I cracked. This is the bottle that got me really into bourbon hunting, and it was the Little Book, Chapter 7.
Little Book Chapter.
It was a first. Now I've been buying whiskeys for years, but this is the first one that I truly sought after. So I was like, okay, it's fitting we cracked that one. And then I gave Mr. Leaf a sip of that, and then I saw a lot of blinking.
Well, it was, sometimes people say you have to know how to drink whiskey, and you really do. There's a way it needs to be entered, presented to your mouth and across your palate, across your tongue, and finally, you get that swallow.
Yeah.
And I rushed it.
Yeah.
I rushed it, and then I was like, what would you call? It would be considered a party foul, or would it be considered like I dropped the ball on that one.
You forgot the Kentucky Chew.
I forgot the Kentucky Chew, and I went to sip it and I forgot what I was putting in my mouth. I thought it was like Hawaiian Punch or something. But then I was like, oh wait a minute, I'm drinking whiskey.
But that was one of my highlights of the year.
Yeah, but that was. But I appreciate you sharing that bottle.
Yeah.
And that was, it was a nice moment that we had. All right, so did we talk about everything that we did?
I think we did. Again, like I said, this it started out very slowly, and then October got very busy. Oh, I did the Flaviar whiskeys for this year.
And guys, I know we're already past the season of the holidays, but that is worth looking at again. It really is. I think you did a good job with that.
I appreciate that.
And people who are just curious about whiskeys, you get a lot of information in about a 2-3 minute clip, right? So
Yeah, the videos are out there. Like I did day 1 through 24 for the Advent calendar. It was a lot of scotches in there, a lot of Irish whiskeys in there.
And that's not your thing,
That's
right?
that's not my thing. But I will say what I got out of it, which was great, was that there were a few scotches and Irish whiskeys on there. I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind getting this for my bar. So the nice part about it is that it opens you up to other things. I think when you put yourself in a box.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm only going to smoke these kind of cigars. I'm only going to drink these kinds of whiskeys. You're not opening your palate up to new experiences. So that is the great part about doing that one. And I'm looking forward to doing it again this year.
All right, very good. So I think, did I catch up to you? Kind of.
No, you didn't.
No?
No.
Shit. I'll get there.
You'll get there eventually. Well, I don't think so.
All right, so what else do we have to talk about? We talk about the future.
We talked about the future, but one thing about the future that I'm excited about is in February, we're going to the Dominican Republic to Pro Cigar. Pro Cigar is a function that happens there where you get to tour different tobacco farms. You are there with the brands of Dominican Republic cigar
The best brands.
owners, the best brands.
Best brands, yeah.
And that's the beauty of it because, again, too, they're like-minded individuals from all walks of life that go there to experience different type of cigars. I'm very excited to do that one. I can't wait for content there.
Yeah, I can't wait to go there every year. And I
Yeah.
know that you have the Fuente one was sold out, but just letting our viewers know that Pro Cigars, Fuente, what else you have?
Fuente, you have Davidoff. I want to say there's like
Davidoff.
12 different ones there. Cohiba is
Cohiba,
out there.
FD.
LFD is out there.
What else?
There's a few of them out there. There's too many to name. What we'll do is maybe we'll put the list on.
But stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be
a
really
lot
fun.
of fun, yeah.
You know, so
And then
excited
that's the
about doing that.
DR, but maybe we also should plan one in Nicaragua.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Estelle, Nicaragua
Estelle,
is
Estelle,
a
Nicaragua,
beautiful place
yeah.
for those. Placencia is out there.
Placencia. I know Davidoff has places in Honduras. I'm not sure if that's open for tours, but
I think it might be, but again, our whole goal is to go across the country internationally to bring you the finest whiskeys and premium cigars. So
Exactly,
that is our
yeah.
goal for that one too. We really want to be able to showcase that stuff. So
and tour the country, just
Yeah.
talking to like different cigar owners, cigar lounge owners, and also different distilleries.
surprisingly, Virginia has a significant amount of distilleries.
They do.
Yeah. So the goal is this year in 26 for us to visit every distillery in Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland. I did go to Sagamore. I forgot about Sagamore Distillery in Baltimore. Beautiful place there. They're known for their ryes. And their 10-year Sagamore rye was in a lot of people's top 20 this year. I did get a bottle of that one. So, we really want to bring those things to you. So I think that's about sums up 2025. And you know
2025.
how we round third on 2026 and what we
Yeah.
have in the future.
Yeah, good year, you would say?
Good year.
It was a good year. I'm happy that I bumped into you at the Home Depot.
Yeah.
That was fun. It was.
When we
Fortuitous.
open up the laundry, we have to get a Home Depot sign in there.
It'll be in the bathroom like a Home Depot thing. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so for our viewers out there, if you're into cigars and whiskey, please subscribe, like what we do, support our content, follow what we do, share it with your friends.
So as we close, we want to know what you sipping on.
And what you're puffing on.
Today, I'm sipping on 10-year Old Fitz Bottle and Bond.
Yeah, and I'm puffing on Davidoff's Year of the Horse.
Until next time, see you guys later.
Bye now.
Take care.
Hasta.
Adios.